In the previous video, I made a tutorial on how to create a realistic 3D t-shirt mockup in Clo 3D. While Clo 3D does this job the best, many of you requested a video on how to make the same 3D t-shirt mockup in Blender. So in this video, I'll be showing you just that, how to create your mockup in Blender. To begin, you need to download and install Blender onto your computer. And also you need to download the Blender t-shirt mockup file we provided on our website. Once you have installed Blender, unzip and open up the Blender t-shirt mockup file you downloaded on our website. Before we start making the mockups, there are a few settings we must make if you haven't already done so. The first one is go up to Edit, Preference, and a pop menu will appear like this. So you want to go into Inputs, and this only applies if you're using a laptop keyboard with no num keys. Okay, so if you have a laptop keyboard, make sure you check Emulate Numpad and Emulate 3 button mouse. Okay, and once you have that checked, come into System. So if you're using a computer with a GPU, come over to, depending on the GPU you're using, if you have an NVIDIA graphics card, make sure you check Optics, and make sure you select Optics and check your GPU and your CPU. If you have an AMD graphics card GPU, select HIP, and if you have Intel GPU, use one API. So once you selected this, that's all you need to do here. So you can close the pop-up, and now we can start making the mockups. To start making the mockups, head to the top right corner and click on the rendered viewport shading. Now to add your graphics and prints, go into the folder which you downloaded from our website, and in that folder you will see a 3D boxy t-shirt diffused PSD file. So open up the PSD file. Once you open up the Photoshop document, uncheck the pattern name eye icon, and now we can start adding our graphics. So I'll start with the front and the back, right? Drag and drop your logo into the PSD file and scale the logo to your preferred scale size. Now once you're okay with the scale and the size, once you're okay with the scale and the position, right click and place. I'll do the same thing for the back as well. Right click, place. I would also like to add something to the sleeves, so I'll add this too. Scale it down, position, place. Finally, the right sleeve, scale, position, and place. So once you've placed all your graphics, and oh, one more thing. So this is for the neck label, scale, place. Now once you've added all your graphics, the first thing you want to do is select all the graphics and move them into this graphic folder. And now we'll change the color of the t-shirt. To change the color, select the add color layer, and when you select the add color layer, select the paint bucket tool the color of your choice, the color you would like to paint the t-shirt. Press OK. So once you have all that selected, you can just click to paint the t-shirt color, and I'll advise to paint it a few times to make sure the t-shirt is filled with the black color. And also don't forget the neck label. So once you've added the color of your choice, save the Photoshop document and come back into Blender. When you get back into Blender, the changes might not reflect immediately. So to change that, go back into the solid viewport shading and then back to the rendered viewport shading, and just like that, there you have it. And if you need to make any changes to the position or the scale, you can always go back to Photoshop, scale, or do whatever you want, and then save the document. Just make sure you save the document. Once you've added all your graphics, few things I need to show before going into rendering the mockups. So in the scene document, we've also provided a backdrop. So for the backdrop, you can select the backdrop and change the color of the background to any background of your choice. And also to see your cameras, click the eye icon on the mockup cameras and you will see 5 different cameras. So to go into the camera view, select the camera icon on the side and press 0 on the keyboard. So that's the front camera, this is the left side camera, right side camera, and this is the back camera. Now on the back camera, you would notice there is no background on the back camera. To solve this, we've made the dome seamless, so you can always check this eye icon and it will fill up the front area of the backdrop. So to go back into the camera view, press 0. So now to render your mockups, it's 0 on the keyboard. Press the camera view you would like to render, and to begin, just a quick notice: if you want to render the mockup with a background, then you should enable the backdrop, right? So if you want no background, uncheck the backdrop and you would render the mockup with no background. Now to render your mockup, select the camera view which you would like to render and go into the output properties. So on the output properties, make sure to select your image resolution and also the file format. So in this case, I would like to use PNG, and also when you're rendering with a background, use RGB, and without a background, use RGBA. Yep. Yeah, so this is for rendering the mockup, right? So if you would like to render the 360 animation, for example, click on the 360 and click on the 360 camera view, is 0 on the keyboard, and make sure to click the camera icon. Okay, so once you have that camera selected, you can change, you need to do like a few tweakings on the output properties. So you can change the file format from PNG to FFmpeg and change the encoding from Matroska to MPEG 4. So once you have this set up, you can press to render your picture mockups, use F12, or go to render and press render image. But to render your 360 animation, go into render and render animation, or press Ctrl F12 on the keyboard. So that's how you render your animation or mockups. And yeah, that's it for this tutorial. And there are some cases where when you open the mockup file, you might run into issues where the t-shirt graphics or textures is out of, like, is nowhere to be found. To change that, to resolve that, in case you run into issues where like there is no graphics like you saw in the beginning, no front, back, left side, right side, this and that, go into shading, and under shading, make sure you have the t-shirt selected first, right? Click on the t-shirt color and click on this diffuse and locate the PSD file you downloaded from our website. So locate the PSD file and make sure you select the PSD file and open image. So that will resolve that in case you run into that issue. And also do the same thing for the normal, right? The normal, open, and also locate the normal image, press open image. And finally the displacement. So if you never run into that kind of if you didn't run into that issue, then no worries. And make sure to change this sRGB to non-color data. So once you have all this set up, yeah, that's it. So I hope you liked this video. I hope you learned something new from this, and let me know what tutorial you would like to see next, what design you would like to see next. Thank you for watching. Like and subscribe.